Shalom, 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 shalom. So once again, you're not under the sounds of the voices of the true disciples of Christ, TDOC. And so once again, we have a pretty interesting, power-packed show for you that's definitely going to educate you with right knowledge. And we will eventually give the opportunity for folks to come in, get on the line and stretch their viewpoints, whatever such may be. But until that time, we're going to actually go ahead and, start off with this. And so what we're going to deal with this evening is, there's various groups and organizations from One West to a lot of heathens that's proclaiming themselves to be Israelites by deeming, people of Hispanic descent that is not of a Negro descent, but of a Edomite descent. They're declaring themselves to be Israelite. Now, one of the things that we've actually asked them to do is that, like, dealing with antiquity, to produce any ancient artifacts that shows a so-called Hispanic or the Moabite as an Israelite, a direct descendant. And so, when you could do that, then we'll probably engage in a conversation with you. That's for those heathens that's actually claiming to be Israelite. Now, as for these One West splinter groups, and there's various One West splinter groups all over. This is primarily for you because you far too long you've misled our people. So we're going to give them the right knowledge. This will set you free. The truth will. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. Good brother Yasha Bauman, we go ahead and get started here. Put together PowerPoint slides, a series of slides here that it's going to definitely inform a lot of people this evening. And again, as time proceeds and if time permits, we'll go ahead and give you the opportunity to call in. So this one is called the Northern Kingdom. 10 lost tribes of Israel are Negroes. And we want to make that abundantly clear. Essentially clear that they're Negroes only. This information is in the formation of truth after fiction. This is put together by the Ilman and Tazadaq. If you want to join our assembly, you can email tazadaqshah@yahoo.com. You see it here on the screen. And you could actually also visit www.truedisciplesofchrist.org by visiting the website. And you can find us on YouTube on TDOC or TDOC TV on YouTube or the True Disciples of Christ. So here we go. We're going into this. Latinx. Are you familiar with this term, Yashabum, Latinx?
Latinx.
Are you familiar with that term at all? Yeah, so I mean, what this is, they came out with this term Latinx to include people that's of a different sexual orientation, if you will. So that's what this is all about, Latinx. But go ahead, you was about to read that.
Latinx definition: a person of Latin America origin or descent used as a gender-neutral or non-binary alternative to Latino or Latina.
So that's the key point, that gender neutral. So it's not really pointing to any specific sex. All right, read on.
But this isn't the only definition. It's just the one that I find helps me best understand the term. If you feel this definition doesn't work for you, that's fine. Definitely seek out your own.
All right, so Latinx is the new term that they came out with. And as you see here, this is false doctrine because they're telling you that this Moabite that essentially came from Asia and they found us here, the true Gadites. And this guy over here, he's responsible for these lies over here. And he took this out of a book that I've, pretty much proven British Israelism. And you can look the book up. I'll put it in a couple other videos. Now, I want to make this clear also, right? To all of you people that refer to yourselves as Mexicans, understand this. That is not, when you deal with antiquity, that is not a natural nationality or race. Mexicans itself is a hybrid. And so when you deal with antiquity, the true inhabitants of that land was of a Negro descent. Most of you don't even know that, man. Most of you don't even know that, but you're going to learn today. What you're saying right here at the bottom, these are Aztecs. You see these things on their head right here that you call fros, an afro, that's really like Hamashiach's here. Yeah, we're going to go into this, man. This is what they look like before Cortes came over there and killed the majority of these off. Now, some people say that he wiped all of the Aztecs out. That's not true. There is we deal with actual facts, right? So you got to be able to produce a fact on that, and I'm going to prove that they weren't utterly wiped out. The Aztecs were not utterly wiped out. There you go, good brother.
Con. So here we go. Let's start with this. Latino as a term that is telling you about geography.
Okay, so hold on, good brother Yashaba. Latino has nothing to do with nationality or race. You see that? It's talking about a geographical area and more specific. Go ahead, read.
Hispanic is a term that is telling you about language. It is easy to remember if you
dissect
the words. Latino means from Latin America.
So Latin Latino means from Latin America. Okay.
Latin America refers mostly to everything below the United States of America, including the Caribbean. Hispanic means from a country whose primary language is Spanish.
And again, we see that has nothing to do with nationality or race. Okay.
But not every country in Latin America speaks Spanish.
We want to make that essentially clear. So from this, you should be able to comprehend now that Latino nor Hispanic is nationality or race. It's a hybrid of several different ethnic, racial groups. And, this is a so-called Latino looking very Eurocentric. When she say, I'm not white, wash, I'm a hard-working, ambitious, and proud Latina. What did we just say? This is not a nationality. It's not a race. You see how people are misinformed?
Which is actually the proof of being whitewashed in itself.
Come on. These are Hispanic in Hollywood. See what they look like? They look Eurocentric. This is that guy who was talking about Ricky Ricardo. And the other, look at this guy, Andy Garcia. They look like Edomites. Now, these right here, these are not our people. This is the problem that I have with that One West garbage. And all of you men that's still pushing these lies, your mouths will be stopped and shut down. These are not our people, man. You can see she looks Asian. She has Mongoloidism. These are not our people, man. And these are the people that they want to call Native Americans or Indians. And then if our DNA doesn't match them, they'll say, well, you're not Native American. These people are not Israelites. None of them. Israelites are of a Negroid descent. Now let's talk about this guy, Hernan Cortes, 1485 to 1547. Who is this man? He was a damn conquistador, an Edomite, so that you can understand. And he came to what they refer to now as Mexico, and he conquered. When he first got here, who did he find there? He found our people. He found Israelites. You understand? He found Israelites. We're going to go into this. Go ahead, good brother.
People in Mexico or in Mexico were Negro, Aztec. The Spanish Edomites came with Cortes. Mexico is not their land, and they are not an original people.
I'm talking about the so-called Mexicans. I want you to understand that that is not your land. You talking about, oh, we at home. No, you ain't home, man. You're not, but it's damn Hispanics, man. You're Spaniards, man. You come from Spanish people, man. You're descendants of people like Cortes and so on and so forth, man. The original inhabitants of those lands were so-called Negroes, as we're going to prove beyond the shadow of doubt. We're going to shut your ass down. And all these One West liars, man, we are going to shut you down tonight. Go ahead, bro.
Cortes was a Spanish conquistador who conquered Mexico. Cortes was born in Spain. At the age of 19, he sailed for Hispaniola. With Diego Velázquez, he conquered Cuba and settled there until 1518.
So stop for a second. So all of you damn people over there in Cuba that has the straight hair and so on and so forth, you are byproducts of Spanish as well. You're Edomites. You're Edomites. You are a hybrid. And so unless you could trace your genealogy back to a Negro, you're not an Israelite. Understand that. And that goes for all of these other islands. You understand? Like Panama, like Colombia. You understand? Argentina, all of these places, man. Unless you could trace back to a Negro descent, you're not an Israelite. Go ahead, King.
And he sailed there until 1518 when Velázquez appointed him to lead an expedition to Mexico. With his force of 700 men, he landed on the coast of Mexico and founded the settlement of Veracruz. Cortes burned his ships behind him, thereby committing his entire force to survival through conquest. Cortes moved to Tenochtitlan, thereby
Mexico City. Mexico City. Okay.
The capital of the powerful Aztec Indians.
Now, these Aztec Indians, I want you to understand this, man. These were so-called Negroes. These were Israelites, so-called Negroes. Understand that. Okay, King.
The Aztecs had conquered most of the surrounding tribes. Montezuma, the Aztec ruler, received the Spaniards graciously, but was made prisoner and used by Cortes to rule the country.
You see that? And this is the problem with you simple damn Israelites today. You always want to trust the heathen nations. You still got this spirit on you, man. You always want to trust heathens. Ain't no damn Issachar, man. You got these damn Spanish, man, talking about they damn Issachar, and they're calling us Canaanites. You don't know no damn history, man. We taught you every damn thing that you know, man. You ain't nothing but some damn Spaniards, man. Go ahead, Al.
The Aztecs, angered by Montezuma's submission, revolted and forced the Spaniards to withdraw. But Cortes received reinforcements from the West Indies and from many Indian groups who hated the Aztecs because of their cruelty. With this increased army, Cortes captured Tenochtitlan, Mexico City, in 1521 and terminated the Aztec Empire.
And let me make this clear, man, because I want to get this to my good brother. Last night he was saying that the Aztecs was totally wiped out. The Aztecs was never totally wiped out. About 75% was wiped out, and when they got less in numbers, that's when they started to go to Israel and West Africa, places like West Africa and the Ivory Coast, should I say, and then transport Judah back over here to Mexico. But they was never totally wiped out. Go ahead, King.
For many years, Cortes governed Mexico, then called New Spain, but in 1540, he fell out of favor with the King of Spain. He returned to Spain to plead his case in vain. He died in a small village near Seville.
Okay. Now, this is what this demon looked like right there. The other one that was working with him.
So you got Juan de Grijalva, Salakia, Spanish, born 1490, and looks like Cuellar,
something like that.
Crown of Castile, 21st of January, 1527 in Honduras, was a Spanish conquistador and relation of Diego Velázquez. He went to Hispaniola in 1508 and to Cuba in 1511. He was one of the early explorers of the Mexican coastline. So you got in 1488 to 15.
That's in Spanish or something, man. It's written in Spanish,
Oh,
so they could see it. So they could see it. You understand? This bastard went and conquered Cuba. You see what I'm saying? So those people over there that don't accept the Negroes, that's Israelites. These are the people that should have been on the sign. The Negro Israelites, not these the descendants of this man right here that went over there and ravaged the people.
So can you go back to that previous slide, right quick? So what they're saying here is that he was the captain of the second expedition, and also part of going to the Gulf of Mexico. And then it also says 3 years after, he participated in the conquest of Cuba. So he was with them the whole time. All right, next slide. Diego Velázquez.
This is another one. This is another one. Diego Velázquez, another damn conquistador.
The Spanish first arrived in Veracruz in 1518 under the command of Juan de Grijalva. The expedition also included Bernal Diaz del Castillo, who later became a champion of indigenous rights because the first expedition detected the presence of gold in the region, and the second expedition under the command of Hernan Cortes was launched in 1519. It was during this expedition that Cortes disembarked and founded a place he and his men called Villarica de la Veracruz, or the rich village of the True Cross. In the mid 1500s, massive amounts of gold and silver were harvested throughout the state. As was the case in most parts of Mexico, new European diseases and enslavement decimated the indigenous population in the first years after the Spanish arrived. As the population decreased, not wiped totally out, African slaves, tribe of Judah, were brought over to work in the sugarcane plantations.
So you see that it's as the population decreased, they weren't totally wiped out. So as the population decreased, because this bastard Hernan Cortes was killing off so many of them, they went over to Africa on the Ivory Coast. Then they was bringing over Judah that came over the transatlantic. Go ahead, Ken, continue.
The port city of Veracruz quickly became Mexico's most important port of entry. Veracruz had the largest enslaved population in Mexico during this time. In 1570, an African slave named Gaspar Yangla led an uprising and established San Lorenzo de los Negros.
So they got a statue of this man still standing in Mexico. He was such a great warrior. Now, this was a Jake, man. This was a Jake from the tribe of Judah that they brought there. And he taught them to uprise and go to war.
In colonial Mexico, it was one of the only settlements of African blacks to gain its independence and freedom through revolt. After attempting to recapture the slaves and end the revolt in 1606 and in 1609, Spanish authorities decided to negotiate with the community in exchange for the settlement's freedom. Yanga agreed to no longer raid Spanish communities, and then in 1630, the settlement established the town of Yanga.
Mm-hmm. There you go, right there. See, it's so-called black man. This is an Israelite. This is so-called Jew right here. El Yanga. You see that statue stands there, and they fear him. They know what we're capable of. There you go again. That's him. That's him, warrior, man. It's from the tribe of Judah that they brought here during the transatlantic. And he got there. He caused a damn uprising. He showed his people how to rebel. The Mayas. Now let's deal with the Mayas. Now I'm gonna hit you something, man. The Mayas they have fallen. Now these are so-called Negro people. Make that abundantly clear, because these damn Spanish people that's calling themselves Mexicans, they would tell you that the Mayans was them. That's a damn lie. Then they try and pull some modernized artifacts to deceive a lot of people. But we deal with the ancient artifacts and we deal with actual facts. So the Mayans, they were wicked. You know, they would put the skin of dead people on themselves and cover themselves in it. So they got caught up into a lot of demonic stuff, man.
The Maya were the first of the American people to gain.
Amerindian people.
Oh, this Salakia were the first of the Amerindian people to gain
hegemony in Mesoamerica.
Mesoamerica, which means basically Central America, from early as 15
Mexico
BC.
And Central America. Mexico and Central America.
Mexico and Central America. From early as 1500 BC, the Maya people had settled in the villages and were practicing agriculture based on the cultivation of corn, maize, beans, and squash. They also began to build ceremonial centers, and by 200 AD, these had developed into cities containing temples, pyramids, palaces, plazas, and courts for playing ball. There was a system of hieroglyphic writing and highly sophisticated calendar and astronomical systems. At this point, it is not known how much of this was uniquely Mayan and how much was taken directly from the Olmec. Mayan hieroglyphs often depict the histories of Mayan rulers who waged war on rival Mayan cities and took their aristocrats captives. These captives were then tortured, mutilated, and sacrificed to the Mayan gods. Torture and human sacrifice were fundamental religious rituals of Mayan society. They were thought to guarantee fertility, demonstrate piety, and propitiate the gods. And if such practices were neglected, cosmic disorder and chaos were thought to result. The drawing of human blood was thought to nourish the gods and thus necessary to achieve contact with them. Hence, the Mayan
all kind of idolatry, man.
Hence, the Mayan rulers, as the intermediaries between the Mayan people and the gods, had to undergo ritual bloodletting and self-torture.
See that? This is what the Mayans look like, man. This is from one of their ancient murals. Left is one of the panels of the oldest known Mayan murals, discovered in 2001 at the ancient Maya city of San Bartolo. These are so-called Negroes, man. These are so-called Negroes. They trying to steal our history, but it's not going to happen. You see what they look like right here? These are Mayans. You see that king in the middle? They try and tell people that this was feathers. Turns out it was our damn locks and so on and so forth. You see them locks down there? You see these people with locks? They were trying to deceive you. These damn Mexicans were trying to tell people this is feathers. It's not no damn feathers. You see these people with this not on their head? They all got locks right here. These Mayans got locks. You see them locks like in my head? That's what they got right there. Who are the Mayans? The Mayans were a race of Negroes that lived in Mexico and parts of North America. This painting is from the Bampak Mural of Chiapas, Mexico, room 2. The man holding the chief spear is Chief Skyhawk. Below him are captives. Google search Bonampak murals to see more pictures. Another strike against these straight-haired people that are in Mexico today. This is more proof it's not their land and we were there first. Understand that. Understand that. Now, these are on their damn walls, man. I can't make this up. How come you don't have people on the walls that look like those people with the straight hair? Talk back to me, Israel. Talk back to me, One West. Because they're not our people. Now, these are the Zapotecs.
The Zapotecs of Monte Alban.
This book right here, I got this book. If you read this book, it's going to shut your ass down. All of you people trying to steal our nationality, go and get this encyclopedia. It's going to shut your ass down.
Take a screenshot of that. The next great culture was that of the Zapotec, and the capital city of Monte Alban was built over a period of 2,000 years, starting about 900 BC. Though their early art shows Olmec influence, there can be little doubt that the people of Monte Alban were Zapotec, who during classic times had the opportunity to develop their civilization, unaffected by the major trouble that disturbed Teotihuacan and the Maya at the close of the early classic period.
Yeah, these people are so-called Negroes, man. You see the damn locks? They're trying to deceive people and tell you that was feathers. Feathers. We got your ass, man. We got you. The truth is coming out, and can't none of you do a darn thing to stop it. Now, these are the Mixtecs. The next class of these people, man.
Then came the Mixtec people, who flourished between 1200 AD and 1521 AD. They were contemporaneous with the Aztecs, but managed to retain their independence. Their homeland was a mountainous region of Oaxaca, southern Mexico, known as Mixteca. They also come to Monte Alban. The Mixtecs were renowned for their skilled work with gold and turquoise mosaic. Many of them were employed as artisans by Aztec kings. The Huastecs, next are the Huastecs. They're thought to date back to approximately 1000 BC. However, their most productive period is usually considered to be the post-classic era between the fall of Teotihuacan and the rise of the Aztec Empire. They constructed temples on step pyramids, carved independent standing sculptures, and produced elaborately painted pottery.
See, all of this stuff is ours, man. They trying to steal our history, man.
The Huastecs were unusual for being the only highly advanced people who built cities, yet usually wore no clothing. And then you have the Cacaxtla. The Cacaxtla is the name of the late classic epic classic. That's 900 or 600 to 900 AD. City in the Puebla Valley. The Tlaxcala, Mexico. At its heights, the Cacaxtla had a population of about 10,000 Olmec and the Calanca people.
Yeah, move on to the next one, man.
John,
The Toltecs. The Toltecs. Then with the Toltecs, who dominated much of central Mexico around 1200 AD. Their language, Nahuatl, was also spoken by Aztecs. They were a misualistic nomadic people. That means they travel from place to place, and they or their ancestors may have sacked the city of Texarkana in 750 AD. The Aztecs. The Aztecs took over. These are so-called Israelites right here. And, all these people that we're talking about here, man. And they were not Spanish, man. We're talking about the indigenous people of this land over there. So the last of the great Mesoamericans, which were all Negroes, by the way. You understand? The last of the great Mesoamericans culture were the Aztecs. They were the Nahuatl-speaking people who in the 15th and 16th century ruled a large empire in what is now central and southern Mexico. So they ruled over there. This is who that damn Spanish man by the name of Hernan Cortes came and wiped out 75% of them. The Aztecs are so-called from the word Aztón, white land, and allusion to the place of origin, possibly in northern Mexico. They were also called Tzatzacan from the mystical ancestor Tina, and the Mexica probably from the Meltalzapan Moon Lake. The mystical name for later Texaco from Technica was delivered the name of the great city, Mexico City, and came the names for that succeeded the Aztecs capital and the surrounding valley. This name was applied later to the whole Mexican nation. by 1492 AD, European Spaniard damn conquistadors had discovered the New World. Smile. How in the hell can they discover it? I put that there. How in the hell could they discover it when you had 1 million people here already in the so-called New World? How in the hell you discover something? You got 1 million of us here already.
100 million.
Columbus had earlier landed in the Caribbean and had set in motion the killing, looting, and subrogation of the Arawak and Caribbean Indians that he had found there, who were so-called Israelites also. You understand what I'm saying? And this is what I was trying to say to the brother last night. We was already on these islands, man. We was already on these islands before Esau even set foot there. This precipitated the mass influx of Europeans, mostly at this time from Spain and Portugal, who all had the same thing in mind: plundering and looting. And today, what do they charge you with? Looting? Who's the first terrorists? Who was the first looters? Now, let's go back to this guy, Hernando Cortes. Go ahead,
now enters Hernando Cortes. After several years as a gentleman farmer and a Caribbean island of the Hispaniola, now Haiti and Dominican Republic, Hernando Cortes, a Spaniard, now felt the desire for adventure and booty. Accordingly, he joined the military expedition of Diego de Velázquez, which was bent on capturing Cuba. After that victory, Cortes became the mayor of Santiago, Cuba, and married the sister-in-law of Velázquez. In 1518, Velázquez gave Cortes permission to form a small force of about 550 men with a fleet of 11 ships to conduct an exploration of Mexico. In 1519, Cortes landed in Mexico. The first great cities that Cortes encountered were the cities of the Totonacs. He first went to Quimpaola, population about 80,000. Here, they told Cortes of a great city and rich empire of the Aztec people further inland. And it is here at this time that Cortes is offered 20 young women as his slaves, one of them as an Aztec maiden, later to be known as Malinke. She will serve as his interpreter with the Aztecs.
See that? So our own people always selling us out, man.
So La Malinke, slave interpreter, secretary, mistress, and mother of the first Mexican, their son, Don Mejen Cortes.
You see, mother of the first what? So where did the most Mexicans came from? It came from that bastard and this Israelite woman that was a damn sellout slave interpreter mistress. That's where the first Mexican came from. Prior to that, we didn't know a damn thing about no Mexicans, man. That ain't no damn nationality, man. That's a hybrid group, man. Go ahead, King.
Her very name still stirs up controversy. Many Mexicans continue to revile the woman called Doña Marina by the Spaniards and La Malinke by the Aztecs, labeling her a traitor and harlot.
That's what she was, man. That's what she was, man. A traitor and harlot. And why do you think they use that word harlot, man? These are Israelites, man.
For her role as the alter ego of Hernando Cortes as he conquered Mexico. Her ability to communicate also enabled the Spaniards to introduce Christianity.
So that shows you that in that damn land, our people weren't speaking no damn Spanish, man, until Cortes brought that damn garbage over there. You understand? He had to use her to communicate with our people, to overthrow them. Go ahead, King.
Herself and baptized Marina, she was an advocate for her new faith. Her story is one that caused great consternation and the non-European people of Mexico. There is, however, no room to go into it here.
Likewise, there's no room to go into depth into the relationship between the Aztec people and the people that they maintain hegemony over. Suffice to say, that Aztecs required the people that they had conquered to participate in what we call flowery wars. These were mock battles where the Aztecs, after symbolically capturing an enemy who would be uninjured, would then have an unblemished candidate for sacrifice to their gods. Needless to say, the tribe saw Cortes and his cannon as a godsend. Each tribe raised its army and rallied to Cortes. These numbered in many tens of thousands. Of course, the tribes would quickly come to regret this after the Aztecs had been defeated. Next, Cortes encountered the Tazadaq. They also joined, and when they went to confront the Aztecs in Mexico City, here's of the Pale invaders. You see what I'm saying? The Pale invaders. He considers Cortes to be Quetzalcoatl, the great god who left Mexico many years before in a raft of snakes, vowing to return, and who, according to legend, had taught them about the agriculture and government, and whose return they had to welcome with great ceremony, believing the Spanish to be descendants of the gods. Quetzalcoatl tries to persuade them to leave by offering rich gifts. Also known as this Aztec myth, probably from a female that he married, Cortes exploits the Aztec myth of a pale-skinned beard god named Quetzalcoatl. As he approaches Mexico City, Montezuma made an attempt to stop Cortes, but his defense lacked unity and the technology, both because of the Quetzalcoatl legend was dictated that his people welcomed the return of the white god, and the fear generated by sight of the Spanish horses and firearm, which Cortes had never seen, which Aztecs had never seen before. So people hadn't seen their firearms and these damn horses that they bought there. So as a result of the quaternary, as well as the tactics used by the Spanish conquistadors and their allies of actually killing their enemies in battle, as opposed to capturing them for sacrifices. So what was going on? The Aztecs was capturing them for sacrifices. They weren't killing while in the battle, but they was killing the Aztecs, so that you could understand. By the time the Aztecs has caught on and changed their tactics, so when we had our people had caught on and started literally killing them, it was too late. When we changed their tactics to kill them straight up, like they was killing our people, it was too late. Cortes quickly defeated the army, and on November the 18th, 1519, Cortes entered the Aztecs' capital and imprisoned Montezuma. Later, after seeing that Montezuma had no value as a hostage, he was later killed. There's the bastard right there. Hernan Cortes. Nothing but a damn Edomite. Straight up Edomite. And this is you Mexicans come from. Understand that. You come from this and one of our people, Israelite. And since you came from the female side, you're not an Israelite. Understand that, man. Understand that. And take that up.
Khan, the Aztec continued to battle for quite a bit longer, but the die was already cast. With all of the other tribes against them, the Aztec cause was hopeless. Of course, after Aztecs were defeated, the Spanish turned on the tribe.
You see that? You see what they do? This is always what Esau does, man. This is what's going on now, man. You simple as Israelites that's out there calling these our people. This is the same damn thing that you're doing to us because you're following that damn garbage that Ariyah taught you, which is damn lies. And you got all these damn heathens in our camps. And then when they break your ass down, because they already call you Canaanites, right? And Hamites. They're going to turn on you, man. They're going to be a damn turncoat, just like damn Cortes. You people, you're damn fakes, man. You don't know no damn history. You just pretend. And the only thing you do, all of you damn One West offshoot splinter groups are the same damn way. You regurgitate what Ariana and them told you. I don't hear nothing new. It's the same lies coming out. But we're giving you the real truth now, if you can receive it. Go ahead, kid.
Of course, after the Aztecs were defeated, the Spanish turned on the tribes, and one by one, they were defeated and enslaved. Then the plundering and looting, which had already begun, could proceed to earnest. The subsequent killing, slavery, and disease would destroy over 75% of the population.
You see that? 75%, not utterly wiped out. 75%, okay?
And bring an end to the Mesoamerican cultures and most of their people. Mexico's black president, Mexico's second president and first and only black president, Vicente Guerrero, 10th of August, 1782 to the 14th of February, 1831. He was a major military leader during Mexico's war for independence, and as president, ended slavery in his nation on September the 15th, 1829.
Hey, let me hit you with something, man. The damn Mexicans trying to paint him as Edomite. Because they're nothing but Edomites, man. They're nothing but Edomites. They're nothing but hybrid Edomites, man. You understand? They're trying to paint him as an Edomite, man. Go ahead, King.
April the 1st, 1829 to 17th of December, 1829, his proclamation. The President of the United States of Mexico, know ye that desiring to celebrate in the year of 1829, the anniversary of our independence with an act of justice and national beneficence, which might result in the benefit and support of a good so highly to be appreciated, which might cement more and more the public tranquility, which might reinstate an unfortunate part of its inhabitants in the sacred rights which nature gave them, and which the nation protects by wise and just laws. In the sacred, in the conference with the 30th article of the Constitutive Act, in which the use of extraordinary powers are ceded to me, I have thought it proper to decree: first, slavery is abolished in the Republic. Second, consequently, those who have been until now considered slaves are free. Third, when the circumstances of the Treasury may permit, the owners of the slaves will be indemnified, and in the mode that the law may provide.
Con, you getting the real truth tonight, man. No one Western camps nowhere is going to teach you this truth, man, because they don't know it. They're liars. Those people are not our people, man. They're damn liars.
And in order that every part of this decree may be fully complied with, let it be printed, published, and circulated. Given at the Federal Palace of Mexico, the 15th of September, 1829, Vicente Guerrero to Jose Maria Bocanegra. However, Guerrero immediately received strong warnings from Texas, where most of the slaveholders were located, of serious inconvenience apprehended by the execution of the decree on the 15th of September last, on the subject of abolition of slavery and the department and the fatal results to be expected, prejudicial and tranquility, and even to the political existence of the state. Thus, scarcely 2 months later, Guerrero sent a note dated the 20th of November communicating to the governor and military garrison of Texas that the Texas slave would remain enslaved. On the 4th of December, 1829, Vice President Anastasio Bustamante rose in a revolt against Guerrero, Plan de Jalapa.
Yeah. We don't need to go into that. TDOC, now here it is. This is what the brother looks like right here. You see what I'm saying? He was a so-called Negro. You understand? They trying to turn him into this damn Edomite right here. He ain't nothing but the damn devil that the Bible speak of, man. They're trying to change him into a damn Edomite over here. See how they didn't change his hair texture and all of that, man. They make him look similar, but this is what the brother look like. I'll show you another picture of him in his uniform as a general, man. This is why you got to be very careful of what you read, Israel, You got to study it and you cross-reference. You never go for what you read and see at first value. You always cross-reference, man. This is where the most important thing you can have, man, is books. I've spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, man, in books. I got damn books everywhere, man. And the older, typically the better. This damn Bustamante, let me go back here. This damn Bustamante, he took over after the president. This is the brother again right here. This was his second and only black president in Mexico. He's the one that ended the damn slavery over there. They wasn't going to end it in slavery, man, because the damn Edomites. You understand? This man, he's nothing but a damn Edomite. You can't see that? Confused in the face, huh? Nah, the spirit there witness. That's big, man, you could miss me with that, man. You could miss me with that. See, there's all this mixing going on here. I'm Asian Latinx. You see all this mixing? And so what you get from this? You get what they're calling the damn North American Indians, throw Esau in there. These are not our people, man. And this is why Jet can't leave them alone. They want these women, man. This is what's going on, man, because you're lusting. Now, this is supposed to be a so-called Hispanic, man. You see this? This is nothing but a Spanish man, man.
Could they pass 10 Latino slaves that look Caucasian?
Now, what's the hell different than this man than a straight up Edomite? Because he is an Edomite, man. Our people need to wake the heck up, man. Our people need to wake up, man. Go ahead, King. Read that right there. These are some dangerous Edomites right here, man.
So you got the 3 most dangerous men. Hashtag American Negroes are Indians. Hashtag the hidden truth. Cultural ancestral identity. Melville Herskovitz. Melville created the genocidal lie of American Negroes coming from African slaves only, changing their cultural identity. Then you got benefits. Walter Plecker, eugenicist, took away the American Negro Indians' benefits and gave it to whites and Mexicans. Then you got the image. You got Alez Herdlicka, eugenicist. He changed the picture of the original Indians from Negro Indians to Mongol Asians.
See that? See that? Yeah, I want you people to take a moment of silence and you get a damn look at what's on the screen. This is right here where Ariel believes that these damn Mongoloids are our people. Because he took the original Negro Indians and changed them into so-called Asians, the ones that's on reservations, and they put us in slavery. This is hidden truth, man. But TDOC's bringing it out. This guy right here, man, he shouldn't be sitting on a board or panel, man. He claimed to be a Levite, but his mom's a straight up Edomite. So that's in contrast with Deuteronomy, the 23rd chapter, the 2nd verse. He shouldn't be sitting on, he's a bastard when you look in the law, in the Torah, right? He's a Masmer. No damn Masmer supposed to be sitting on no damn panel. That shows you how wicked the house of David is, man. Mathata, you sit on your gluttonous ass and talk, trying to make things sound ridiculous, man. You know you guys are off. Step the hell down, man. And we're gonna shut your ass down whether you like it or not, man. The Lord is raising up a spirit of warriors that's telling the truth, man. And there's fire coming out of our mouth, man. You can't stop this truth, man. This is why they won't debate us, man. None of these men are sitting on debate us, man, because they know we'll shut you down, man, and embarrass you. You don't have no facts. Yeah, he over here on this panel, man. And this damn guy right here, he's married to a damn Moabite, man. These men are wicked, man. They try and justify it because some man in the scripture went off and done it. Then they try and justify it.
But the later prophets condemned them. Those men were judged for it, and they corrected it with the current people.
Right. At the end of the so-called Old Testament, Ezra came back and he cleaned all of that up, man. So you go into the New Testament, he said no mixing.
Come.
Look at Israel. Look at they doing. Look over there. This guy Rakar, man. Rakar Tamar, the unclean spirit. He got plenty of Edomites in his organization. This guy right here, he can't get over adultery, and he attached himself to people that engage in pedophilia, man. He allow 50-some-year-old men go around and groom little girls, man. You're a conspiracy to it, boy.
Yep, it's letting it happen. 2 Timothy 3:13. But evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived.
Copper color races. Let's see what a real American is. Let's see who qualifies. Let's see who qualifies.
American, a native of America, originally applied to the Aboriginals or copper color races found here by Europeans, but now applied to the descendants of Europeans born in America. 1828 Webster Dictionary.
Con. So this is an abridged dictionary. That means the original definition of the word went unchanged. This is that type of dictionary you want to read, not the modern Webster Dictionary where they change things around. He sort of went in there and changed the words around to dumb you down. Wake up, man. TDOC got the real truth, man. This is, you hear us speaking, but the spirit is speaking through us, man. The Ruach. This is what's going on, man. Started off copper color. Now they look like this. This ain't no damn Gadite, man.
Nah.
Look at him, man. He's not no Gadite, man. I'm the Gadite right here. Tazadaq, I'm the Gadite. He ain't no Gad. He's up in a Moabite, man.
The North American Indians, the true Native Americans, Genesis 49:19. You got Gad, a troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last.
Right. So with that damn, you see that damn breakdown that Ben Bubblegum and Nate Satan done? They're sitting down, like, yeah, Gad, a troop overcame us, man. The troops overcame us, man. The original Gadites. And that was the American cavalry that overcame us. And by that time, those damn Moabites had came down here and mixed in with us, man. You guys don't know this history, man. This is why I encourage you to get this right here, man. Get this book, man, and read this book completely and stop allowing the word African to throw you off. Because when you deal with antiquity, Israelites are from Africa anyways, like I said last night. Go ahead, King.
The indigenous Native American, according to the Holy Bible and according to historical records, are the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob of the nation of Israel and of the tribe of Gad. Read Genesis 49:1-2 and 19. The troop that overcame Gad, Negro Israelites, was the United States Cavalry. And Dr. Imhotep, the book "The First Americans Were Africans," were learned that we were indigenous long before the Asian
right here. We was indigenous to this land long before any damn Moabites came down from Asia, man. We were here, man.
Genesis 49:1, and Jacob called unto his sons and said, gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days. Gather yourselves together and hear, ye sons of Jacob, and hearken unto Israel your father. Gad, a troop, shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last. Deuteronomy 33:20. And of Gad he said, blessed be he that enlargeth Gad. He dwelleth as a lion, and teareth the arm with the crown of the head. And in 1 Chronicles 12:8, and of the Gadites there separated themselves unto David into the hold to the wilderness of men of might and men of war fit for battle, fit for the battle, that could handle shield and buckler, whose faces were like the faces of lions, and were as swift as the roes upon the mountains.
In 709 BC, the year of King Solomon's death, the nation of Israel was split into two different kingdoms, two different nations. The south was the kingdom of Judah, the southern kingdom, consisting of the tribe of Judah, Benjamin, and a portion of Levi, who was actually the priest, headed by Solomon's son Rehoboam of the tribe of Judah. The north was the kingdom of Yasha Allah, Israel, the northern kingdom. And I'm into something, man. These were all so-called Negroes. To hell with all of y'all, man. To hell with all of you, man, that continue to lie. Nate, you know the damn truth, man. You're not but a damn liar also. You're misleading, man. You men need to come out of that IUIC damn garbage anyways, man. That's not but a damn Christian church, man. These men are not Israelites. It's for filthy lucre's sake. So the northern kingdom consisting of the other 10 tribes, headed by Jeroboam, the son of Napla, the Negro Ephraimite general. You understand? He was of a Negro descent. All of these Israelites started out of a Negro descent and still are, tracing it back to the seed of the father. And if you don't have, you can't trace that back in your genealogy, then you're not an Israelite. You understand? The northern kingdom, the kingdom of Israel, did not keep the Most High's laws. They strayed off first. Therefore, in 474 BC, they were led into captivity by King Shalmaneser, right? The Assyrian king. 2 Kings 17, verse 6. You want to take that, good brother?
Khan, chapter 17, 2 Kings 17 and 6. In the 9th year of Hoshea, the king of Assyria took Samaria and carried Israel away into Assyria and placed them into Halah and in the harbor by the river of Gazan and in the cities of Medes. Verse 7. For so it was that the children of Israel had sinned against the Lord their God, which had brought them up out of the land of Egypt, from under the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and feared other gods, meaning respecting other gods. 2 Ezra 13 and 40. Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoner out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king, whom Shalmaneser, the king of Assyria, led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land.
So that's how we got here. They tell you how you get here, man. You come here. No, this is how we got here. This is how many of us got here. We came here on our own, man. I went and visited the Decalogue Stone, man, and Los Lunas, New Mexico. They trying to tell you that was a hoax. Go ahead, King.
Verse 41. But they took this counsel among themselves that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt, that they might there keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land. And they entered into Euphrates by the narrow places of the river.
Come on.
So-called Mississippi, I believe. 44. For the Most High then shewed signs for them and held still the flood till they were passed over. For through that country there was a great way to go, namely a year and a half, and the same region was called Arsareth. And they then dwelt they there until the latter time, and now when they shall begin to come, the highest shall stay the springs of the stream again, that they may go through. Wherefore sawest thou the multitude with peace? Adair's History of the Indigenous American have facts proven that the customs, religions, laws, etc. of the indigenous Americans, Gad, go back to their ancestors, the Hebrew Israelites of ancient times. This is confirmed with biblical scriptures. Yeah, West Wicked Splinter.
No, one West Wicked Splinters still teach lies that these damn Moabites are Gad. There ain't no damn Gadites. The fringes that the Moabite Indians wear, they pick those customs up from us, the true tribe of Gad, once they came here to America and mixed in amongst us. It is not in the history of Asia of wearing fringes. Our people wore this on their garments and are found in the book of Numbers 15:38, speaking to the children of Israel and bid them that they make fringes, like you see on this garment right here, in the borders of their garment throughout their generation, meaning forever, and that they put upon them fringe the borders of a ribbon of blue. This is where we get it from. It came from our Lord, man. It came from our lords. Number 39. And it shall be unto you for a fringe, that you may look upon it and remember all the commandments of the Lord. This is supposed to be a reminder of you keeping the Lord's statutes and commandments. You understand? And do them. And that you seek not after your own heart and your own eyes, after which you used to go a whoring. You people going back whoring after yourself. Some of you walk around with no damn fringes. Sisters covered, no fringes. People think you're a Muslim. Stop me where I'm lying at. And verse 40, that ye may remember and do all my commandments and be holy, meaning set apart. The word holy means set apart unto your power.
By the time of Christ, Hosea 1 and 10 had been.
Yeah, well, Hosea 1 and 10, when you read that, it tells you that we're going to become like the sands of the sea. That the children of Israel is going to become too much to number. And that by the time of Mashiach, that was already fulfilled. Okay?
It had been fulfilled with the tribes of Israel living in all the lands of the earth, which Christ also spoke about in St. John or Yachanan 10 and 16. And other sheep I have, which are not of this fold.
So the other sheep that he had was not of this fold, was a northern tribes. Because we had gone away first. Northern tribes, like Tazadaq. You understand? And everyone else from the northern tribe. Go ahead, King.
Them also I must bring. Then read Genesis 20 and 14, John 10, 24 and 30, 1 Chronicles 5 and 18, the sons of Reuben and the Gadites and half of the tribe of Manasseh, and of valiant men, men able to bear buckler and sword and to shoot with bow and skillful in war, were 440,703. Then went out to the war. The indigenous Native Americans are descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, all so-called black men. All Caucasians are descendants of Esau, the true red race. Read Genesis 25 and 25. The Most High, God, said that Israel would go into captivity under all nations, and in the last days, he would redeem Israel from among the nations. Please read Jeremiah 50, 33 to 34, Ezekiel 20, 34, Hosea 1, 10 and 11, Genesis 49 and 19. The troop that overcame Gad was the United States cavalry, cowboys and the Negroes, not cowboys and Indians. Revelations 13 and 9. If any man have ear, let him hear. Verse 10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword.
So if this is true, and I concur that it is, why is GOCC teaching heathens? Why are you Israelites teaching heathens? Because it says he that go into captivity must go into captivity themselves. They got to pay, man. They got to pay for what they done, man, according to the Bible. Who's waiting on this?
Here is the patience and the faith of the saints.
That's who's waiting on this, the saints. The saints who are Israelites. There's a cavalry right there. They wiped us out. It's the cavalry right there.
It's 10 o'clock.
And now they got them worshiping that. Just about all, stop me where I'm lying at. Just about all so-called Latinos worship this right here. They worship her. I'm not even going to call it Virgin Mary. I don't know what the hell that is. That's not no Virgin Mary. Mary was a melanated woman.
A panel from the painting in the Larco Museum in Lima, Peru. This panel depicts the last Inca emperor, Atahualpa, and the subsequent first European emperor of the Inca, Holy Roman Emperor Charles V, Carlos.
You see that? They were so-called Negro Israelites. Negroes. Yeah, you get a good look at that. From Peru. All these islands, northern tribes, they were of a Negro descent. How come you can't find no artifacts with you on it? You Hispanics that's claiming that you're Israelites. Mongolian Moabites. How come we can't find the artifacts with you? Why does it always look like this? You see these what you call the M-word right here. Go ahead, Ken.
The painting can be dated circa 1800s because the last two entries are Carlos III, Charles III, as the 24th Inca emperor, and his son, Carlos Corto, Charles IV, House of Bourbon, as the 25th Inca emperor. Charles IV reigned as king of Spain from December 14th, 1788 to March 19th, 1808. Says abdicated in favor of his son Ferdinand VII.
Now this is Caesar Borgia's damn father. This is Pope Alexander VI of Rome. His son posed for the image originally painted by Leonardo da Vinci and then later by Michelangelo. That you worship as Christ, that you worship as Hamashiach. You're worshiping this man's son, who happened to have them sex with his own sister.
Killed the husband first, right?
Come on. This is the first mafia family right here. Understand what you're looking at, Israel.
A man killed his brother-in-law just to lay with his sister. That's wicked. You got a wedding portrait of King Ferdinand II of Aragon and Queen Isabel of Castile.
Yeah, they was wicked also.
Ferdinand the Catholic, 1452 to 1516, was King of Aragon as Ferdinand II, and Sicily, Naples, Valencia, Sardinia, and Navarra. Count of Barcelona, King of Castile as Ferdinand V, and right of his wife Isabel, and then regent of that country from 1508 to his death, in the name of his mentally unstable daughter, Joanna the Mad.
The Mad. It's a fitting name too, Joanna the Mad. This is Cortes being welcome. See, they trusted this bastard, and he slaughtered him. This is Christopher Columbus.
Yeah.
And he looked wicked, man. These are the real Aztecs. This is what the Aztecs look like. Can't you see these are damn Negroes? These are Aztecs right here. Can't you see that these are damn Negroes?
Con.
Now get Lopez out of that, man. Get Lopez out of that. You can't.
Nope.
Was that boy named that Box? Look like a straight up Edomite. Get his ass out of that. There's Aztecs. Can't you see this is a damn Negroes, man?
Con. You got a 1671 drawing of Aztec of Mexico as encountered by Hernan Cortes from the book America, being the latest and most accurate description of the New World by John Ogilvy.
Come on. Now get a good look at this. I want you to get a good look at this. You people that are calling yourself Mexicans, that's exactly what you are, Mexicans. You're not Israelites. Mexicans came from Israelite descendant, female, and that damn Cortes and other Edomites coming in, mixing the race. There's another Aztec right here. These are Negroes, man.
Con.
This is a calendar stone that belonged to Aztecs. These are Mayans right here. They were Negroes as well.
So you got a panoramic view of the 3 adjoining walls of the Maya portraits and glyphs found at a palace in the Zoltan ruins, which are located in northern Guatemala, near the borders of Mexico and Belize. This find dates to 800s AD.
These are more Mayan.
Dates back to 100 BC. Got Maya, thin figure style, ruler holding a smoke tube, maybe, facing a mirror, vase, and bearded figure who also has a smoking tube. Text suggests he is a visitor from the west, attendant standing in the wings.
Well, we giving you ancient artifacts right here. What else do you need? Can't you see these are Negroes? You see these locks right here? These are locks, man. Their hair is like mine, man. You see what I'm saying? Look at that. That's a so-called Negro right there. What else do you need, man? These are ancient artifacts. These one West, all of these splinter groups are lying to you, man. They are lying. I know you don't want to receive it, but to those of you that can receive it, come out of those groups, man. Save your soul. This is about salvation. Stop being man pleasers. See that? These are paintings on inside walls, man.
All so-called Negroes. I don't see how
niggas still our history. Talking about they're already home. You ain't home. You want to go home? You go back to Madrid.
Come.
And we was there before you got there. This was the so-called Mexican Republic. This was disputed territory right here. And this is a lie. That damn chart's a lie. We destroying this garbage also because these people on this sign, they're not our people unless they have a Negroid descent. And this sign, you could damn urinate on this sign. The next time you see this damn sign on the damn street, hog some damn spit and spit adjacent to it because that's what it's worth. It's worth about the much as a spittle that you want to get out of your mouth, your body. It's disgusting because there should be people on this sign in Africa. There should be people on this sign in all 4 corners of the world, even in places like the damn Middle East of a Negroid descent. Our people got scattered throughout the 4 corners of the world. That's what the Lord says in the Bible, and that's what it is. So this sign is garbage. And to all of you that continue to follow this, you're not going to make it unless you repent. You're not going to make it because you got heathens within your midst.
You got Judah, supposedly Negroes, African Americans, Benjamin, West Indies, Levi, Haitian, Simeon, Dominican Republic, Zebulun, Guatemala to Panama, Ephraim, Puerto Riches, Puerto Rico, Manasseh, Cuban.
Yeah, we don't even want this garbage anymore, man.
Con.
There's a real Gadite right there, Tazadaq. True Gadite. True Gadite. Not no damn Moabite. See that? It's Tazadaq Shah. True Gadite. I shoot the bow just like them, just like the scripture said, man. We're not going to let them steal our nationality, our heritage anymore. This is all fake. And this demon right here, he made it up. And you got a lot of men that don't want to admit it because they worship this man. They're man pleasers. This is false doctrine, man. These are Mongolian people, man. These are Moabites. This sign is off as hell. I showed you the ancient artifacts. These are the real Aztecs.
In the United States, a white Hispanic is an individual who self-identifies as white and of Hispanic descent and or speaks the Spanish language natively. White Latino Americans are a broader category, including people of Brazilian descent who predominantly speak Portuguese in addition to Spanish-speaking populations. Portuguese Americans and non-Hispanic Europeans, based on the population, wouldn't be classified under either category. Based on the definitions created by the Office of Management and Budget and the U.S. Census Bureau, the concepts of race and ethnicity are mutually independent. For the Census Bureau, ethnicity distinguishes between those who report ancestral origins in Spain or Latin America, Hispanic and Latino Americans, and those who do not, non-Hispanic Americans. Many Hispanic Americans who identify as white in the United States are castizos, mestizos, and mulatto. According to the Pew Research, about 4 in 10 of Hispanic respondents identify as mestizos / mulatto, say their race is white, while only 1 in 5 volunteered the race as Hispanic.
So are you guys getting that? You see that? Most of them say that they're Edomites because they are. That's what their parents are teaching them because they know the truth. You bird brains out here in these one West splinter groups just don't know the truth. Some of you know the truth, but you can't receive it because of proud, and you want their women, and you want those tights that they're giving because you're wicked. We're gonna expose you, man. The Lord's exposing you, man, through TDOC and FOPE, and other brothers like Eleazar and Dawid and the neighborhood Hebrew. We're gonna put your behind on blast, man, and we're gonna keep banging on you, man. We're gonna keep banging on you until you repent and come back and accept the Negro only Israelite. Otherwise, you're not gonna make it, boy, because you're causing confusion. Go ahead, King.
Mexican, quote unquote Mexican, was officially added as a racial category on the United States Census beginning in 1930 in connection with the growing Mexican population, but was removed in the following decades due to much of the Mexican population being repatriated back to Mexico, in addition to political pressure. Prior to this, Latinos in the United States were often classified as mulattoes, Indians, or other, if they were not purely of European ancestry. Classification was up to each census official's discretion before the establishment of the centralized Central Census Bureau in 1902. A designation for Hispanic and Latino citizens returned in 1970, again coinciding with an increase of immigration from Latin America. As had been the case historically, classification of Latinos presented difficulties in the United States, for the country did not have a large mixed race domestic populations.
Con. Hispanic, Latino.
Hispanic Latino will remain as an ethnicity. Many employers had already given Hispanic or Latino the same demographic weight as a racial group for some time. The U.S. Census Bureau asked each resident to report the race or races with which they most closely identify. Some Hispanic or Latino American groups that have white majorities or pluralities originate in countries that do not. For example, Mexico's white population is 9% to 17%, only while Mexico is majority mestizos, meaning that they have mixed European and Native American descent, and that extent while 52.8% of Mexican Americans are white or identify themselves as white in the census. See the table. However, genetic studies performed in the general Mexican American and Mexican population have shown that Mexicans residing in Mexico consistently have a higher European admixture in average, with results ranging from 37% to 78.5% than Mexican Americans, whose results range from 50% to 68%. The discrepancy between the percentage of white Americans reported in the United States and white Mexicans from Mexico can be explained if the differences in racial perceptions that exist in both countries are considered. The concept of race in Mexico is subtle, not only including physical clues, such as skin color, but also cultural disposition, morality, economic, and intellectual status. It is not static or well-defined, but rather is identified and redefined, or is defined and redefined by situation. That makes racial distinctions different than those in other countries, such as the United States. Other possible explanations is that the poor mixed race Mexicans found better opportunities in the United States, while white Mexicans were already the ruling economic class in the country.
See that? See that? And so we're going to open it up so you could actually call in. You want to speak your viewpoint. We're going to open it up. And again, the lies are being exposed. It's white Hispanics, right? These are Edomite Hispanics, man. This dude right here ain't no damn Gadite. This is true Gadite. This is a whitewashed version of this man right here. You see how they just play on people's mind, man. Who does this? A devil does this. You understand? A devil does this. These are not no damn Gadites, man. These are not Gadites that Thalawam is with. These are not no damn Gadites, man. These are not but damn Moabites, man, that came down here, man. This is me at the Los Lunas Stone and Los Lunas, New Mexico, man. There's Paleo Hebrew written on this thing that states that it dates back to the time of King Solomon. How did that get here? They trying to call that a lie because they want to erase our history, and you simple jacks go for it. You believe any damn thing they tell you, man. This is false doctrine, man. Not our people. Get that in your head. All you One West splinter groups, these are not our people. La'ah. And this guy right here ain't got no damn business sitting on their panel. You understand? He's a masmer. And I broke it down for those of you that can't get it, right? Deuteronomy 23:2. A masmer, a bastard, shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord. So you don't go and try and use someone else, man. Well, such and such did it. If it's written in the law, man, and you do it, you're breaking the law. Because the men that did this, they paid for that. They carried their cross. They were punished, just like you're going to be punished. How can these men call themselves righteous when they're allowing this? How can they call themselves righteous? This is just a display of their wickedness, man. And a lot of you men are up under this guy's vibration, man. You better wake up, man. True natives, true Gadite, Tazadaq, true Gadite. You understand? That's what we're doing, man. We're giving you the absolute truth after fiction. After all of the fiction that they're giving you, we're giving you absolute truth. So yeah, we're gonna open it up. Going over here, Joshua, you got something you want to bring out?
No, I don't got nothing much to say. It's just everything. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, just everything we do, like I put in the private chat, if you see it, everything we do, they want to follow. We're the salt of the earth. So it's like they might not say it, but it shows everything they do, from what they wear to what they what should I say? To how they dance, everything. I mean everything. It's just they follow it after us. They might not say it, but they do.
Con. Hey, what about you, Vod? You got anything you want to bring out?
Yes. And can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear, brother.
Woo, man, y'all brought out some information. And this is information that I've sat on for a long time, and I never really knew how to really approach the Israelite, you know what I'm saying, from the outside looking in, the Israelite community on this information. But it's sad that we got to spend time backtracking on information that everybody should be privy to. You know what I'm saying? It's just costing us more time that we should be past all this stuff. And it's just like, you know what I'm saying? Just me being in North Carolina and knowing that what Giovanni Veranzio, knowing history on what just his description on what the Native Americans, what he said that they look like alone, saying he described us as looking like Ethiopians. You know what I'm saying? Us being dark skinned with woolly hair. But it just never occurred. It just never like it's just so confusing as to like what do these camps really gain from from all of this madness. You know what I'm saying? It's like I just that's just my thing. I just don't know what because it's only gonna end up setting everybody back in the long run. But that's all I have.
You know what it is? Is that first of all, it's pride. They're very proud men, and the next thing they probably think in their minds, well, damn, if you know I admit that I'm wrong, then damn, they're gonna question my entire doctrine, and which they really should do. You see what I'm saying? And then the other thing is they're heavy on these women, man. A lot of these, I'm telling you, man, a lot of these so-called black men, they lust for these women of the other nations because you know they have this self-negation about themselves, like they hate themselves. You see what I'm saying? So to make up all kind of excuse where the black woman, she's too rebellious, she's too this, and so on and so forth. You see what I'm saying? Because they want to cross over. You see what I'm saying? When you're playing that basketball, you do the crossover. That's what they want to do. They want to cross over, man, because they wicked. They don't want to stay with their own nation. They're wicked. They just misleading our people, man.
I yield. I hear you. I hear you.
But that's what's going on. Huh? So someone want to come in the room, speak your piece. Even if you got some sort of opposition, come in, just do everything in decency and order. I post a link in the room. You don't have to call in. Just click on the link. It'll take you into the back door. You call in, speak your piece. Floor is open, man. The floor is open. You got anything you want to bring out, Yashaba?
Khan, I was just gonna reiterate, we're really not about any nonsense, and the fact that we don't have anything to hide. We have absolutely nothing to lose, nor really gain, but favor of the Most High by putting forth the truth. So again, for the folks that know the truth and that aren't speaking it or purposely deceiving the people, you're gonna have hell to pay. So while you still have time, repent, step down, repent, and let somebody else lead appropriately.
Hey, Salakia, hey, brother Ara, from the tribe of Issachar. Yeah, you should call them, brother, so they can see what a true member from the tribe of Issachar looks like. You understand? That it don't look like these other people, man. That we've been putting them up on the screen like all night. But you should call them, brother, so they can see your face, so they can see that our people are out there, man. The true tribe of Issachar. You see what I'm saying? So you should call in just so they can see your face, man, and know that our people are out there. And because I know you got some sort of testimony how they treat you differently. I can almost guarantee that, man. Because every so-called Mexican of a Negroid descent, he got a testimony of how they treat him like dirt. They don't want to accept him. They'll call him chocolate, moreno, and so on and so forth. You dig what I'm saying? So if you're still on the call, brother, I see Ara, give a call in. You click on that link right there. Don't be shy. Multiply. Build on to the truth. But go ahead, Yashaba. Surely someone has something to say.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say that based on what's written, there's hell to pay for misleading the Most High's flock, and it just shows who really believes in the Mashiach and who doesn't, because even the Mashiach himself said be wary of other Christs out there, and he kept saying it over and over again. You know what I'm saying? And the apostles put forth, if anyone puts forth a different Christ that's not like the one that I speak of, you need to dang on, separate yourselves from them. Be wary of them, kick them out. Because people will be out there to deceive. So no one can directly, I ain't gonna say no one, but it's not likely that anyone gets directly lied to. It is a form of the truth mixed with the lie every time, which is why, one of the things that gravitated me toward the Kahan Tazadaq some years ago, said go check it out for yourself. And that's something I grew up with. Growing up in New York City, you can't take, for face value what someone say. You need to, You either show me, put up, or shut up. You know, you got innuendos like that. So that's just how I grew up. You know, and anyone who has an attitude, hey, if you find something that's, you know, jacked up about what I'm saying, you know, bring it back. You know, we'll fix it. That's a man. I mean, that's That's an honorable man. You see what I'm saying? And that's how folks in the Bible really carried themselves. What they didn't know and what we do know to be true was spoken forth strong. And anyone who had to correct it, hey, you eat it if it's wrong, if you're in error, and you fix it. So, brothers, you know you in error, step down and fix it.
Come on.
So anybody else out there that agree, especially those that are in opposition, yeah, bring forth some, you know, facts so we can, you know, clear out any kind of misconceptions and have an intelligent conversation about what's really, you know, about what's really real. Don't be
Right. So, I mean, anyone want to call in? Anyone want to call in and speak your piece? You could do so now. Just click on the link in the room. If you're really not gonna speak anything, then yeah, don't call in because we need that the back door open. So you know, you could, you know, have people to speak. We want to keep a couple of lines open. I can only have like maybe 5, 6 on here at once, and we already got 3. So, you know, you could call in and click on the link. Go ahead and call in and speak your truth. Even if it's not the truth, you can speak on it and we'll deal with it.
Well, yeah, let me go ahead and also close out that if you're one of those types of people to just listen to what somebody, hear what somebody tell you and take that as face value, I'm going to tell you right now, being part of any organization or camp, being part of any camp is not for you. It's not for the faint of heart, and this isn't for the sluggard, you know, type folks, you know, and I say that because I'm not one to blindly follow or lead people. So I've actually done my own research in my own family, you know, history on both sides to see what's what. And before TDOC even came about, I mean, I already had it, you know, in mind. Okay, you know, went back to the Aniyanguia tribe, you know, and Aniyanguia, the English called them the Lesser Cherokee, and the French called them dang on Iroquois. You know, so going back to all that in the archives, I mean, we were already here, but you got to care enough to see this. It's written in the Bible, and you check the dang on National Archives, and you can go back. You you know, you can find out. There are ways of, you know, finding out and tracing your lineage, and that's when all this is really going to come together and be truth for you, versus being a witness of, you know, debates. You guys need to take this personal. Otherwise, it's going to be rough for you to get in the kingdom because you don't know what you're standing for.
That's why they're falling for anything, because they don't know what they're standing for. That's why they keep falling for just about anything that comes forward from these One West splinter groups. So HIMAN. Go ahead, call in. I see Vaughn keeps coming in and coming. HIMAN. You can call in. Line's open. Issachar, go ahead and call in. You talking in the chat room? Go ahead and call in. There's a link right there. You could go ahead and call in and speak freely. Instead of just, you know, typing in the chat room. Brothers don't be wanting to speak up. I don't see anyone else in the back room right now, man. This guy said he's chasing the roots. So I mean, if no one's going to call in, brother, go ahead and go ahead and shut it down. We gave him an opportunity to call in. Who's that? I don't know why people are nervous, man, to speak up. I don't quite get it. I don't get it. You know, speak up, speak your piece. Holding it inside doesn't do any justice to anyone. You are the people that's actually misleading everyone. So Issachar, the brother from the tribe of Issachar, Ara. Go ahead and call in, brother. You know, we it will be you know, a kind of, you know, a good experience for brothers and sisters to see, you know, Issachar of a so-called Negro descent, instead of seeing these heathens just walking around here referring to themselves. I don't get it, man. I don't know why people don't want to make a change. I really don't get our people, man. And stuff like that kind of incenses me. You know, you sit in the background, be on the sideline, but you know, won't speak up, man. I don't get our people, man. Hey, y'all club, you're actually
Hey, shalom, shalom. Can you hear me out?
yeah, we can hear you.
Hey, brother, what's good, man?
Shalom. Look like, did he get kicked back to the back room? He's on the screen. Or did he exit the call?
I don't know. He fell off. Like the other brother keeps falling off also. It's a car. Yeah, Joshua, I see you there also. All right, you're gonna call in or what, man? Brothers don't want to speak up, man. Go ahead and bring this to an end, man. Just, you know, they don't want to speak. So yeah, I don't get, you know, our people, man. But you know, that's what it is, man. I mean, you can go back and review the video. Yeah, the guy that's calling himself Issachar, you're making me think you're losing. Maybe you're using someone else's photo, man. Because why wouldn't you want to call in to show, you know, people like, you know, there are so-called Negro Mexicans around here, and you could give a testimony, man. But I mean, you know, you what is this? You faking something? You know, what's going on? Why wouldn't you want to call in? I don't quite understand that. But then again, our people, man, like a test is exceedingly difficult to understand.
Well, for my experience, I already know that they're out there because I grew up. I went to school, elementary school, in the Bronx. Yeah, my buddy Kevin from he was from Colombia, and he was dark as my shirt. He actually lives here in Alpharetta. He flies planes. You got one of my classmates, my boy Keenan. He's from Belize. You know, we about the same complexion, but you know, just speak a little bit different tongue. There's a whole. I mean, I went to school with a whole bunch of so-called Latin American students, or you know, that went to school with me, elementary and middle school, that look just like me. And they definitely, I mean, you can tell there's a difference because, you know, they treat us all different. We can
just click that link right there, Anthony. You don't need a number. Just click that link. But the guy that's calling himself Issachar, you're suspect now, because I'm kind of like thinking you might be using someone else's photo. You know, there'd be a lot of people like, you know, sitting in the back, you know, just, you know, like fakest, like stunting.
Oh yeah,
you're coming across as someone else. Oh yeah. I'm the people also, and so on and so forth. And you find out they're nothing but a damn heathen, man. Like those people that I was showing, man. And this history is undisputable because what I was pulling was ancient artifacts. There's a lot of damn imposters out here, man. They be faking it, man. You understand? Neighborhood Hebrew, shalom, King.
Shalom, what it do, fam? What it do?
Hey, we just killing them with the truth, man. We killing them with the truth,
Hey, man. I'm calling in for one reason. As y'all know, I spent a lot of time in Cuba, and I spent a lot of time in Belize. And the biggest secret is the majority of the Cubans look like us. That light-skinned Cuban man ain't that popular down there. He's not everywhere like you find us. So it doesn't surprise me at all that we're all over the planet and speaking a lot of tongues. A lot of people just don't want to understand it though. But I appreciate what you brothers doing. Y'all keep on rocking, brothers.
Hey, appreciate you, man. Appreciate you.
One love, shalom, fam. Y'all hope somebody call in. They just don't want to. They gotta
they
get
kind of
outside
scared.
the box.
They typing stuff in the text room right there. They typing stuff in the on YouTube, but you know, I guess they're a little mic shy. Anthony, that link is right there. If you want to call in, you can call in. And they afraid to pick up. I mean, there's one brother. He got himself listed as Issachar, like it looked like of a Negro descent, but he won't call in, speak up. You understand what I'm saying? So he could very well be an imposter.
Khan, just click on that StreamYard link, Akim. That's all you gotta do. Click on the StreamYard link.
But y'all, I'm gonna head back down to Cuba to give away some stuff and deal with some. The good thing about going down there, y'all, that when I'm teaching people the truth, I don't have to deal with none of the One West doctrine. So I don't have a lot of stuff to overcome, and it's a beautiful thing.
Beautiful.
They tamper free. They ain't been tampered with yet. And because of, I guess, what how Fidel closed off the country, they don't have access. They haven't been tampered with yet. So and they're thirsting for knowledge.
Right. Good. That's good. It's good. So yeah, this guy is not gonna call in. We're gonna go ahead and shut it down, man. Anthony, you asked for the link. The link's in the room. All you gotta do is click on the link. Brings you right into the back room. Then we'll let you in. So I mean that's what it is. But the guy from Issachar, go ahead, brother.
I just did it, so it ain't like it's difficult. I did it. I jumped on and hit it, and it was right in it.
Right. I don't quite get it, man. I just think some of these other One West dudes, they create fake profiles and they come on and they listen, but these damn coward niggas, they don't speak up. This is why they won't sit down and debate us, because then they're gonna get their ass shut down. They're gonna get shut
trolling.
down. Yeah,
they just trolling. Yeah, that's all.
Yeah.
And brother, we ain't trying to bear false witness on you.
He said he's nervous. What are you nervous for, brother? The brother say he's nervous, man. No, don't show your face, man. Then just show the picture. I don't know what you would be nervous about, brother.
Yeah, we don't bite.
Yeah, I mean, if you are Issachar, but so-called Negro descent, then we're family, man. This is what you gotta understand, and that's what we're trying to do, man. We're trying to get our people to acknowledge what, not Mexicans, because Mexicans are not our people. Understand that. Mexican is a hybrid. Mexican came from a damn Spaniard named Cortes and other Spaniards that came to that area and mixed with our people. Understand that.
Killed them first. Tried to kill them out first.
Right. But they use one of those Aztec women to interpret for them, so he could, he came in, trying to act like he was for them and start murdering them, man. And they murdered 75% of those people there, man. So that's why they started going to Africa and start transporting judo over there. And so that's why they got a statue of a big so-called black man, a Negro, in the middle of over there, because he led a ruthless revolt. He taught those people to rebel, and they got a statue of him over there.
Well, man, I went down when I was in Mexico. I went down to check out some of the pyramids down there. And actually, if you look at some of those drawings on those pyramids, you can see the different shades of people. Some of them they got black, some of them they got brown, some of them they got even lighter. So they can't tell me that that's faded paint.
You fell back out. Hey, Slakia, You was just in the room, Anthony, but for some reason I don't know if you got nervous, and fell back out. I don't know what's going on. You was in here for like a second. I let you in the room, then you fell right back out.
Hey, that happened to me yesterday. Tell him to clear his browser out because his what you call it is blocking it, and they'll let him come on in.
All right, hey brother. He said that the brother said to clear your browser out. Yeah, there you go again. He's in the back room. You're in here again, Anthony.
There you go.
There you go. You're right here. We can see you.
Oh yeah.
First time.
Shalom, Ma.
With me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no doubt.
Shalom.
Hey, shalom, brother.
I've been watching you for man. Learned a lot from you. Definitely a lot.
Good, brother.
But how can we use this information? I feel
you're breaking up. You're breaking up a lot.
Follow the Israelite or think that we Israelite because of the white Jews and because of the lies they've been promoting. Everybody.
Yes, connection.
How can we get this? How can we use this truth to bring everybody? Because a lot of us, well, not a lot of them out there are still deceived about white Jews.
You're breaking up really bad, King. I mean, everyone's not going to get that. Remember that. Everyone's not going to get this, man. Hamashiach and my sheep hear my voice.
I say
yeah, everyone's not going to receive this, King. Hamashiach and my sheep hear my voice. A lot of people won't, they're not going to receive this. Your connection's pretty bad, huh? His connections.
I know.
Bad. He's still talking, but we can't hear him.
Yeah. But from what I could piece together, he was asking how can we use the information and bring everybody together.
And I would tell him that all Israel ain't Israel.
Right. Come on.
Yeah, some of them just ain't gonna get it, brother. And it's unfortunate, but they stiff neck and they rebellious.
Right.
Yeah.
And they so in love with they capture till they can't even believe it. They've been slaves for so long that they can't believe that they're part of the 12 royal families on the planet. It's so far-fetched from any perception that they can have. And to be honest, when I first heard it, it was kind of like a comic book to me, because they have took so much time to try to tell us that we are people with no history. And what made sense for me, y'all, there was a history book with no people, and then here go these people with no history. So it's kind of simple to me.
Come. Hey,
and as far as a lot of them getting it, y'all, remember this. The Most High gave us free will, but that's a catch-22 because you got to sacrifice your free will for his perfect will. So we can run around here all the time and we got free will, and we do, and those people got free will not to ever accept it. But me, I'm going to sacrifice my free will for his perfect will because I'm trying to get to the king.
Brother say he's in Turkey. You're in Turkey. You're still in bed, but you're watching this, so you may as well call in. You was talking something about some DNA. I mean, you watching it in bed. All you got to do is click on the link and talk. People got all kinds. Wow.
We ain't about to get into the E1B1, is we?
Right now, we ain't getting into none of that garbage,
man.
We don't even go by that. You see what I'm saying? That doesn't match up anyways, man.
No, because
that's designed for Esau.
Yeah, because if E is Jacob, then what's Terah? Man, they just created something to throw some stuff out.
Right.
Yep, a stumbling block.
And it's gonna match them. I mean, case in point, man. If I go and take a damn DNA test for Gad, I'm not gonna match no damn Moabite. but that's who they got on the reservations and calling them, you know, Gadites and Edomites on these reservations also. You see what I'm saying? So our DNA is not going to really line up with that. So they'll tell you, well, you're not Gad. No, they're not Gadites. That's stolen identity.
Hey, and the I ain't seen a Native American Cherokee, and they probably ain't seen one of them in 150 years. We have no idea what the real all them $5 Indians.
Right. That's what they are. That's exactly what they are.
Because people are they're not familiar with the Dawson Roll mix and how those white people were taking liquor and $5 to the chiefs to get them to add their names onto the scroll so they can get involved in that money in the Dawson Roll mix. Man, they don't whitewash them out.
Okay, this brother is saying his ancestors are Bill Pickett. Then why don't you call in? You could type. Now, let me show you how people play semantics, right? How in the heck can you type, right? But you can't use your damn mouth where you don't have to type. Come on, man. That's semantics right there. You could type on a computer, but you can't use your mouth and talk. Come on, man. Stop playing.
And the brother who was talking about the Cherokee and the French call them the Iroquois, do y'all know why that's so?
What's that?
Do you know why the French?
Why they were called the Iroquois?
Yes, I know. I just want to know. Do you know?
Nah.
All right. Well, the Cherokees are originally part of the Iroquois nation, so they were up north around the Great Lakes area, right? Just real north, up in the Appalachian Mountains.
Yep.
So when the Iroquois were going to war with the French, the Cherokee didn't want to go to war with the other people from the Iroquois League. And I think it was Sitting Bull. I'm not familiar with, I can't think of which chief it was. He gave them an option. You either help us fight these French or we coming for you. So the Cherokee decided to move. So they came south down through the Appalachian until they got into North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia, where they bumped heads with the Creeks. And then they got farther in Georgia, up around Blairsville, Georgia, where it's called Blood Mountain, which was one of the most vicious battles between the Creeks and the Cherokees. But the Creeks had so much land farther south, so they went on and just y'all can have it, because they were just losing so many people, and they moved on farther south into what we know as middle and southern Georgia until they got into the Florida area, where some people start running away, mixing with the Seminoles, along with some of the Cherokees, the Yamasees, and the Washita.
Okay.
So they speak the Cherokee language is an Iroquoian language, where the other of the 5 civilized tribes spoke an Appalachian language. So the Cherokees are, for the South, are newcomers.
So from what I've researched, and my grandfather, who is actually still living, his grandfather, they were never they were never accepted into the civilized tribes. And
they call them freedmen.
Yeah, exactly. They call them freedmen.
They called them freedmen. I went out to the reservation out in Milwaukee, Oklahoma, to the Creek Reservation. And when I went out there, I noticed that there was regular Muskegee Creek, and then all the black Muskegees were called, their last name were Freedmen.
Right.
So, and the same thing, if you go out to Oklahoma to the Cherokee Reservation, the black ones are called, their last name is always going to be Freedman or Freeman. Right. And they still sit there. They sit on the council and everything now, but they really was never, only the Seminoles and the Southern Creeks ever really just accepted the black counterparts.
Right.
The rest of them never accepted it.
Right.
Gotcha.
And they were these damn Moabites, they will literally have children by our women and deny it because it was against the law for them to actually, marry a so-called, black woman, Negro, aka Israelite woman. It was against the law. So a lot of the people got rejected from the Dallas Commission because the Cherokee See, they were going into our women, and they were denying that these descendants of them was even their children, so they couldn't even get the land. You understand?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So my next move is to actually research my family that's over there in Oklahoma and Ohio, because I know everybody for the most part from Georgia, Florida, Georgia, North Carolina to New York City and Massachusetts. But I had some distant relatives that did migrate over there, and only my grandfather really knows them. So I got to get up on that because nobody else in my family really cares.
When you go over there, they kept excellent records. So if you can remember the name, the last name that you can track back, you're going to find it. They kept excellent records.
Okay. Yeah, that's good because I've been on this thing for about 3 years and they make it hard. But who's this new brother in the room, man?
This brother from Turkey, man. This brother's from Turkey.
Hey, what's going on? Yeah. Good morning, everybody. Or good evening.
Shalom, fam.
Yeah, that's the brother that he was in his bed, man. We finally got it. Hey, what time is it over there, brother?
Let me see.
About
8:51.
Oh, 7, going on 7. Okay.
That's at night or in the morning?
It's in the morning.
In the morning.
See, you in Turkey, man.
Yeah, no, I'm from the States though. I'm originally from Oklahoma. So
Are you over there working on the log cap contract, brother?
No. I don't do any. I don't have any ties to anybody. I just kind of live over here, just chill over here, pretty much.
Okay.
But you said you're originally from Oklahoma. So were you actually tied to any kind of indigenous people in Oklahoma?
No, not really. Just my dad. He's always talking about being a descendant of Bill Pickett, and we thought we were Cherokee and stuff like that. But I talked to my dad last fall. He said he doesn't really believe that we're Cherokee and stuff like that. So it could have been one of the things with slave ownership. Cherokees happen to let the former or the freed slaves as parts of their tribes or something like that. I'm not really sure. But yeah,
the Cherokee, Salakia, brother. I don't know if you know, about a year and a half ago, the Cherokee just actually kicked a lot of so-called Negroes out of the Cherokee.
Yes.
Nation. Yeah, they
I
just.
heard you say that.
They didn't want those people to get land. They didn't want those people to get land and get their monies. So I mean, they're
not just land, bro.
Go ahead,
they go to college for free. It's a lot of things with that. They don't have to pay to go to college. There's a lot of stuff that come with being indigenous to this country and tied to one of those tribes and reservations.
Right.
Yeah, I tried that back in 2003, and they kept giving me an issue. I said, "Well, we need your grandfather's, original birth certificate," but his doesn't look like anybody else's, and neither does the Social Security card. Because I mean,
they reject a lot of true natives, or I don't like to really use natives. I like to use indigenous people because again, they don't really want us in, man. Those people, the people that's on the reservations are literally not the indigenous people. That's what's crazy. The bulk of them that's on the reservations are not the original damn people, man. They migrated here. You understand? So this is why they're rejecting us, because they knew who we are. We just don't know who we are.
And I wasn't privy to this when I was about 18. I just figured, it was just one of them things. So I just, went on about it my own way. But for the past 5 years, this stuff is really starting to make sense. So I'm just pushing it to my seeds so that way they be prepared.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
hey y'all, and I've seen pictures of my great grandmother who was her name was Sunni, and for her to have been and I'm just using this as a loose term, a so-called Muskogee Creek, she was just as black and looked like any one of my other relatives. Y'all, wasn't no straight hair. She didn't look like she had no mongoloid features. She looked just like my mama, my grandma, and the rest of them. But her name was Sunni, and of course the pictures that I seen were black and white and they're old. But she, excuse my language, but looked like any old other nigga I done seen.
Right. So what you got, good brother, in Turkey, man? Like, so do
Yeah, I
you
don't really
believe
got too
that
much
you're
right now.
native?
What's up?
Do you believe that you're actually native? You say your father doesn't believe that anymore?
Yeah, my dad doesn't really believe. I mean, he's not really sure, but when I talked to him last fall, he's like, "Yeah, I don't really believe that stuff anymore about us being Cherokee and stuff." But I mean, I don't know. I guess in Oklahoma, a lot of people there supposedly you know, some kind of native tribe, right?
Yeah, that's where I get that. This is where I get this jacket from, man. I
Man,
went
that's
out
the
there,
end of
man.
the Underground Railroad, brother.
Yeah,
Oklahoma was the end of the not the Underground Railroad, the Trail of Tears. Excuse me.
yeah,
Right,
yeah.
right,
That was the end of the Trail of Tears.
Yeah, yeah.
And so,
right.
Before, yeah. Go ahead. Get that out.
Well, yeah, I traced. I was tracing my lineage back, and the furthest I got back was like around the 1850s, I think, maybe 1840s. Because like my dad says that our great ancestor was Bill Pickett, and I know that my granddad was a cowboy. My dad's father was a cowboy, and he's Negro. So sorry. So yeah, there's some books written about Pickett and showing kind of like how they started off actually in South Carolina, I think, and
yes.
and they migrated with their slave owners around the 1850s into, I think, Austin, Travis County, Texas. And a few years after that, there was the emancipation. So I guess they slowly made their way up to Oklahoma. But I couldn't go further than that because I found the census records, and you know, as far as where their parents came from and stuff like that, they don't know. So
Yeah, I went through those census records, bro. They can get difficult to read. They'll be like one black female, age 29, with 2 black children. And so they get
right,
it gets, or Negro is the term that they used at the time. So yeah, those reading those censuses, I've traced and traced back, man, for a long time, man. As far as I can get back, like you said, around the 1800s, and a lot of reasons is that you need the access to multiple states' archives, and for my
right.
instance, I can't go no farther than Georgia. So when somebody else was coming in from another state, in order for me to continue to track it, I need to go to that state and get in there. The only place that you can do it all in one place is Washington, D.C.
Well, yeah. Apparently, at some point, the Census Bureau, all their records are burned.
That's what they say.
So
They tell
yeah,
that lie
so
about everything. My
right,
military
right.
records got burnt, so they say.
Yeah. So, brother, this is how you could trace it. If you this book right here, this book tells you all the research you need, man. Like the good brother saying, you could go to DC, but they have one in Texas also. But this book goes in great detail. Sometimes you can't search by the last name. Sometimes you just got to search by the first name. This is why you're unable to trace it. But you got to remember, these people are gonna try to say, "Well, you're not this. You can't trace it." You can't let that deter you. There's several, like there's names at the names, and it's broken down. This book is, it tells you how to search the 5 so-called civilized tribes. But you know what? Some people go off. They may not be a member of the 5 civilized tribes. So you got tribes all over places like North Carolina, Virginia, South Carolina, New York, Massachusetts. So you could very well be tied to one of those tribes. And so this is why you got to search by either the last name. You find someone in your family, because if your father was saying that, it was more than likely true, but he probably got to a certain point and he couldn't prove it, so he gave up. That's typically what people do. Because in this this book, a lot of Negro people was actually getting deterred and turned back because they would say that I was born to such and such, and so the so-called Native American had to deny it because it was against the law. Because if it was proven that he actually had slept with a black person, hey, that was against the law. He could be arrested. You see what I'm saying? So they literally try to hide it, but it wasn't against the law for them to sleep with a so-called white, an Edomite. So they readily accept them. So this is where a lot of them, today look pretty much, a so-called white person say, I'm Native American. Now you're nothing but a damn Moab. You lay down with a damn Moabite, and you're a hybrid race, but you're not the true indigenous people to the land.
Hey,
so that's
some of them ain't that. Some of them is straight up white people who paid the chief $5 in a bottle of liquor, bro.
Right.
Them straight up Southern hillbilly crackers, bro.
They got a list of names after names after names after names in this book, man. You know, all kind of names, and you know, most people, you know, they got these names, man. And then
can I say that one more time? I'm gonna take a note of that.
they got the records to look up on microfiche also. But like the brother saying, the records are there, but you just gotta be really patient because it's tedious. And some of them are oral records because they would actually interview like Negroes and say, well, how was you related to such and such? And they were saying, hey, I was a slave. Because remember, a lot of these Native Americans, they had our people as slaves. And like the brother said, that's why they call them freedmen. But a lot of men, they were literally married to these people. And so when the Dawes Commission came forward, they denied that it was actually even married to him. And they said, no, this was a slave on my plantation. But a lot of these Native Americans, they had like a big house and field Negroes, just like Edomites. You see what I'm saying? They had the same type of thing, man. They had the same type of setup. They was treating us just like the Euro Gentiles was treating us.
I'm aware of that.
Yeah. Yep.
Hey, and the Cherokee is a real hard one to search, though, brother, because all of the $5 Indian penetration with the Cherokees, and because they came into the South so late in the game.
See right here? That's
go ahead.
Federal census of the Choctaw Nation. That's a federal census. That's something else you could check besides the Dow. But go ahead.
Check. Yeah, so I was just saying that the Cherokee is really, really a hard one. Like when I was up in Montana talking to the Blackfoot, and when me and him was talking, and me and him was talking, and I was telling him about my great grandmother, was supposed to have been Native American, and he asked me what tribe, and when I said Muskogee Creek, he laughed, and he was like, "I'm glad you didn't say Cherokee," and I was like, "Why?" And he told me, he said, because everybody lie and say they Cherokee and their grandma is a Cherokee princess. And if anybody know anything about Native American culture, they didn't have princesses. And me and him sit up there and laugh.
Yeah, it kind of.
So the Cherokee was the first one to really get infiltrated. The reason that the Iroquois ran them away because they was already trying to acquiesce, right? They were already trying to act like the invaders. So that's why the Iroquois kicked them up out of there anyway. And so when they came down south, they started New and Noda over in Georgia, came up with this language, start putting on suits and shit, trying to be like they captors. And that's why the other ones around them never fucked with them either. Because they were the first ones to really get infiltrated like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's like that chick from Oklahoma. I think Elizabeth Warren, she was saying that she was Cherokee or something like that.
Yeah, and even the darn president, he was like, I've seen some Native Americans, and you don't look like any Native American I seen.
Right.
You look like a $5 Native. Shit, they know it.
Right.
They know it like I know it, bro. The Cherokees was the first ones to get, and they had more slaves than any of the other tribes had slaves, but not to the extent of the Cherokees. The other tribes.
But I hit you with something, brother.
Go ahead.
The Choctaw and Chickasaw was worse. They was ruthless, man.
Yeah, they were ruthless too.
That was the thing. So yeah, on my mom's side, my dad's side is supposedly Cherokee, but my mom's side is Chickasaw actually, and both from Oklahoma.
They was ruthless, man.
You know,
that's the hardest thing to check. Well, according to this research book, that is the hardest one to check. Those damn Chickasaws and Chickasaw, they was ruthless on us, man.
What were they? Mississippi, Alabama, right?
Right.
Yeah. Mississippi, Alabama. Man, so and they original part of the original civilized tribes. The Chickasaw, man.
Yeah.
Them Cherokee were vicious too, though, boy. Them Cherokees had white slave masters that were Cherokees, so you know how vicious they got.
Yeah.
Them Cherokees were sick, boy. And nobody liked them. They raided everybody. Nobody liked the Cherokees. And you go talk to any other tribes about the Cherokee, because they had to come down south and take land. So they were fighting with everybody.
Yep.
First person they hit was the Creeks, and then they start, after they got so far south, then they start going west a little bit, hitting some of them other tribes going across there. Hey, they say the Delaware is hard to trace too, though.
Yeah, I'll have to look at kind of stuff. It hasn't really been like my top priority of my research, to be honest with you. But yeah, I'll start getting around to this stuff as well.
Yeah, but I don't know what I don't know how my great grandfather came across my great great grandfather came across my great great. I don't know how they came across each other, but she's definitely in the records up in Wewoka. So she's definitely in the records up there, but she looked like any old nigga I've ever seen in my life before. And I do know that the Creeks also had slaves to some degree, but they wasn't to the degree of the Cherokee, but they still, were slaves nonetheless. So I don't know if that's how they came across them, and that's how that part I haven't been able to figure out yet. But I do know that she was born and raised amongst them until Arthur Guthrie came and found her, or got her, wherever he found her at, met, or whatever the case may be.
All right, guys. Well, I have to hop off. It's 7 o'clock in the morning over here. I gotta get ready.
Yeah. We're about to bring this to an end also, man. But yeah,
Okay.
you appreciate that out, brother.
All right, later, bro.
Yeah, thanks for calling in. Shalom.
All right, shalom.
Shalom.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess we could go ahead and bring this to an end, man. It's getting kind of late over here, but yeah, man. Anyone that want to do the research, this book is it tells you all of the avenues that you could actually research, like the enrollment cards, the Dawa submission, the federal census reports, looking up our last name. It gives you a lot of different avenues, and it tells you the loopholes and the traps that they try and set up for you to deter you, to tell you, oh, nah, this doesn't apply to you. They was like, yo, don't stop there. You got to keep looking. You could even check the microfiche, So, and if you're not one of the 5 civilized tribes, you could very well be, in one of the other states. So, I would highly encourage checking that out, because they get a lot of benefits out of that, man. They get tax exempt. They get a lot of benefits from that thing.
Free college,
right?
Hey, y'all, the crazy thing is, I've never even tried to connect myself to any Native American tribe. I found all this out just trying to research my Now, I knew that they've always said that my grandmother was, my great-great-grandmother was Muskegee Creek, and her name was Sunni. I've always knew that, but I wasn't researching it from that perspective, and I still came across a lot of creeks, especially by the time I got out to Muskogee. And the funny thing is, we woke her. The funny thing is that her mother's sister's children ended up on the Trail of Tears, and they last name Friedman, and I got to meet one of them while I was out there.
Right. And you know what I learned in this book, man, is that when the Trail of Tears, when these damn Moabites had slaves, the slaves went with them. The slaves went with them.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, they went with them, man. They went with them, and were still damn slaves on their damn because before they came out with that state of Oklahoma, that was a part of Arkansas. It was a part of Arkansas, man, and they came up with Oklahoma later, man, and they came up.
All of that was part of the Texas Republic at first,
right,
and then it got split off Arkansas, and then Oklahoma got formed out of that.
Right. Yep.
Yep. So, and this was just on just regular old research that I came across this. And that's what the argument is with the Black Cherokees now is. They'll say, yes, we might not have been bone of your bone, flesh of your flesh, but we was tilling that land with you. We came across that trail with you. We deserve the same thing you get. That's what the argument is.
Yeah,
That's what's been the argument. That's what the argument has been the whole time. We lost everything too. They just didn't steal your land; they stole our land. That's what the Black Cherokees have been arguing the whole time, because they're the only ones who really having the fight right now. But it's gonna happen with all of them.
But they recently expelled a lot of Israelites from that thing, man. They recently. I just posted a link in the room for people that want to read it. A lot of those people are suing because they kicked them out of that thing.
Well, y'all, if y'all ever get a chance to go to Wewoka, Oklahoma, you're going to meet a lot of Black people who live on those reservations. And, there's actually towns on these reservations. They're not like a lot of people who've never been on one think, like, especially out in Montana, the Blackfoot Reservation, Brownsville, Montana is probably the 15th or 16th largest city in Montana. And so man, I had to send you some pictures when I was out there, man. I had a really good time out there with those people.
Cool.
But you're going to find but I didn't see a lot of freedmen out there. But I definitely did in Oklahoma.
Yeah, my grandparents got up in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, and then they went up to in the 50s. They went to New York City. So all my aunts and uncles are in New York City, and I don't know my biological father directly, but from what I do know, him, my biological father, and my grandfather, they were actually from the same tribal background. So I just end up being lucked up by that. I think his sisters are still living, but yeah, it's been rough. I mean, I need to get a hold of that literature, because that'll probably help out a lot.
Man, I haven't researched this. I think I was out in Oklahoma maybe 4 years ago, and I haven't even researched or touched this subject in over 4 years, man. So, but for me, I just can't. When I was out there, if y'all get a chance, that's where you need to go, because you got access to. I think that's the headquarters, at least 4 of them. So I think you'll have the records to 4 of them for the tribes right there. But here's the funny thing: all Cherokees ain't federally looked at. Like the ones up in Georgia up there who run the they recognized by the state of Georgia and the state of North Carolina, but they're not recognized by the federal government. The ones who run that casino up there on the border of Georgia and North Carolina. And then you still got a Creek reservation who they're not federally recognized either. But they got a casino and stuff down there in Alabama, just north of Mobile. It's called Wind Creek. And then when I was out in Oklahoma, you got these folk called the little shell. What were they? Chippewa. So you got the regular Chippewa, who's federally recognized, but the little shell tribe of the Chippewa are not federally recognized, but yet and still they're state recognized. So some of these tribes, especially in the Southeast, are only recognized by the states. So just because someone would say they're from Creek, You got to figure out, did you come from one of the ones, because the only ones who are going to be recognized for the most part from the South are the ones who hit that Trail of Tears. There's a couple other ones, but for the most part, the ones who was on that Trail of Tears, because they moved them to reservations, so that's why they, you know, for the most part, listed them all. And then when they found out they was about to get some money from the land that was stolen, shoot, came up with the Dawson Road.
Yeah, so anyone that want to trace this, I posted some information in the room. If you click on this thing that I about the Taoist Commission, like the enrollment card applications, posted a link in the room if you want to do some research on that, about the 5 civilized tribes. You know, the administrative records of the Indian schools and all of that. You want to check through all of that, man. You know, some of you, you know, you might find out that you're entitled to something there.
Yeah, they're gonna make it difficult for you to get on that enrollment, though.
Yeah, but
So
this link, yeah, no doubt. The link that I posted is to the National Archives.
Yeah, I'm on that.
Yeah, they, like he said, man, they make it exceedingly difficult. They make it exceedingly difficult, and there's a lot of Israelites that was, you know, rightfully supposed to receive things. They deny them. They reject them. They come up with all kind of stupid reasons. A couple of the links that I posted earlier, it shows you how they kicked thousands of Negro Cherokees out.
2,800 Negro indigenous folks, and it says so. I just read the article, and what they suspended like $37 million worth of urban development or something like that. I don't know what in the world them folks got going. I gotta look into that some more. That is wild.
Hey y'all, I got a homegirl who's from Oklahoma, but she's living in Georgia now. She got the native tags and all on her vehicle, so she's definitely recognized. Y'all know that they keep denying her to pay her student loans off.
Wow.
And she and her family is on the enrollment, y'all, and they still keep denying her to pay her loans off. And now the federal government is now where the student loans is now denying to give her more loans so she can finish school. And like y'all supposed to pay for this shit anyway.
They hate us, man. They know who we are. They hate our guts, man. They hate us, man. They reconfirm it again and again and again, man, by their actions. They just hate us, man. Hate us.
They just saying, we don't care what you niggas call yourselves. We know who you is.
Right.
You can call yourself whatever you want. We know who you is. And shit, you can't escape these curses. You got to walk them out. You can't escape them. As much as we try, you got to walk this out.
Right. And that's how you know it's us, man. We're not sitting up no damn Mexican restaurants in the hood and being all prosperous with the little Mexican bodega stores, and you know, like you see, you know, and you know, on the corners, sort of Puerto Rican bodegas. We don't have that, man. We got to go in their stores, man. You see Jake
That's
out
right.
in one of those stores selling, you know, hustling and all of that.
And I'm gonna just say this for me, so everybody understand where I'm coming from. I don't have no hatred for no Mexican, no Puerto Rican, or anybody. My whole point, and they're not us.
Yeah, that's
period.
it.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. I have no malice toward them. I have none of that. My beef is they're not us. They're not our people.
That's it. That's it, man. It's not our people, man. That's all it is. That's all this is about, man. It's about identity theft, man.
Yeah, I know y'all feel that way. I just wanted to clear that up for anybody who's listening, so they'll understand. Hey, we have no hatred for anybody. All we trying to get y'all to see is those people are not our people.
Con.
Yeah, or like Khan likes to say, right knowledge. Point blank period. Right knowledge. Without any kind of deception. True facts. You got to put truth before the facts, because folks put out facts that don't necessarily need to be true to be a fact. Legally
Yeah,
speaking. Just want to make sure we clarify that.
His brother said
facts
he got to be
change, truth does not. Facts can change, the truth does not change.
Right.
Just because you don't know it, don't mean it's going to, it still ain't changed. You just didn't know it.
Truth's still going to be the truth.
That's right.
Truth's always going to be the truth, man. Even if you're trying to hide it, deny it, the truth is still there. And so, you know, this is why One West is starting to disappear, because the truth is coming. We just keep banging on them like, damn, when are these guys going to go away?
Never.
They're going to stop doing this.
Never.
Truth needs to be
Well,
there.
you see now, all them little West One babies coming back to attack them. You got the Mexicans now who saying y'all niggas ain't Israelites, y'all Hamites, we the true Israelites. You got all the camps. They come from the same leader, but they all mad at Comfy because he got Arya and Shaw sitting under them, and it looked like his bank account bigger because he done swindled $5 million. So they all jealous of him, and they eating each other out, and they just don't know it. They picking each other apart and throwing the evidence out there, and then when someone grab it and say, hey, y'all niggas put this public, you should go to the brother. Well, shit, nigga, if you didn't put it out here publicly,
right.
Then shoot, I wouldn't be dealing with it. But the fact that I know what's going on now, and I know I gotta look and check our daughters because some of you niggas like young Quabar, then so be it.
Yep, that's what it is, man.
But this ain't nothing that I want to waste my time on. But if that's what these niggas want to do, and they want to show how unrighteous they can be by going out chasing these young girls and trying to go to each state and find out what the legal age is and whatever else that you're doing, going across the world trying to find out what the legal is, then you need to go to them places. Because if I catch you in my neighborhood, I'm going to beat your ass. You floating around the playground in my neighborhood.
Con. And so, yo, man, we could go ahead and bring this to an end. It's getting kind of late over here. It's like 11:22. We could go ahead and shut it down. I don't think anyone is gonna come on in, and I'm tired. So yeah, we appreciate everyone for listening. People that spoke up. As always, man, the neighborhood Hebrew might be in a neighborhood near you. You never know where he might be, man. Yeah, he might be on the Bay of Pigs, whatever. You never know. What do they call that in Cuba? The Bay of Pigs. What was that one?
Yes, sir.
Thing that was on around Reagan time or something like that.
It was around Kennedy.
Yeah, Kennedy. All right. Yeah, I know one of them. The Bay of Pigs or whatever, man. Then they went over Nicaragua. That was during Reagan's time.
Yeah, that was Noriega.
The Contra. No, the Contra down in Nicaragua.
Yeah, Noriega was Panama.
Noriega was George Bush Sr.
Yeah, that's Panama.
Right.
They named that game after?
Nicaragua was at Iran Contra.
Wow.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's the scandal with the weapons and the guns and Oliver North.
Right? Yeah, Ollie North. Right.
Yeah.
He said, hey, we just shredded. I didn't do anything wrong. I just shredded.
Yeah.
He shredded all the damn evidence.
That's right.
I just shredded documents. I don't think I've done anything wrong.
Yeah, I went in the military. I think the first Bush. Was the first Bush in? Yeah, I think it was the first Bush.
Yeah.
89. What was that? Was that the first or the second? Yeah, Bush Senior.
Yeah, it was a senior. It was George Bush Senior. Right. Yep. That was George Bush Senior. Yeah.
And I seen the Navy.
My invasion right there. That was Noriega. Manuel Noriega.
And I seen the Navy change real quick, man. Real quick.
Yeah.
It was definitely time to go.
Yeah.
Definitely time to go. And for all you listening, I don't necessarily suggest that you do that.
Right.
That was just the path I had to walk. Well, fellas, I'm going to get on out of here. And it's always a pleasure. And shalom. And to the 12 royal families of this earth, y'all keep y'all head up. We ain't got long, and we'll be home. Peace and shalom, fellas.
Right, shalom. We're out. Shalom. Thank everyone for listening. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Shalom.
Shalom.